Stuff on my mailbox. I'm gonna send this kid's letter of recommendation off in the mail. Got all that done before 3:55. 3:47s. Just a few more minutes.
It's amazing.
Contract ends at 3:55. But like I said, so many teachers stay here till 5:30, 6 o'clock. Just try to finish planning lessons for the next day, making their copies, grading essays.
Well, and what's crazy is like this is full of papers, but I don't have time to grade. When do I have time to grade it? I'm realizing today how much I do outside of contract.
All right. We are leaving right at 3:55. Nobody is staying late. No one is working extra time. No one is staying for a club unless they're paid to do it. So today we're all meeting in the lobby, and we plan to walk out of here unified in 4 minutes. Thanks, Craig. There's our superintendent walking in right now.
Your students are out there. I know that that this is difficult, but we support you. The district totally supports you.
You ready? I'm always. Are you always ready? Ready?
Yeah. Should I stay with you?
Yeah.
Stand for your school. Do you believe every child has a right to a quality public education? Are we going to win this fight? I know this is a once-in-a-generation fight for education here in Oklahoma, and by larger extension, this is part of a national struggle for better communities in America.
It's been in my family for a generation. This is my second job, really, because how can you raise a daughter and a family on a teacher's salary unless you have several streams of income? This is where I grade papers sometimes when I have a quiet space to get some work done. Just plug in the space heater and just start grading essays, because I don't want to take anything home. I promised my wife I wouldn't bring work home. We'll get somebody to come through at this house sooner or later.
A lot of teachers will pick up a second job, whether they're working at Walmart or they're waiting tables at night.
I bartended, I waited tables, I've umpired, I've refereed.
I work a number of jobs. I teach online classes.
In the mornings between 4 and 6 a.m. I teach online to Chinese children. I teach them English.
I'm also an Uber driver.
I've used my past experience of being an athlete to help make more money by being a volleyball coach and a soccer coach.
Currently moving back in with my parents to save on rent money.
I would install cable and internet, climb telephone poles in the rain sometimes, do whatever it took to make ends meet.
I'm also a coach of the academic bowl team, and I am the 11th grade team leader. So those are choices that I've made to make a little bit extra money, but also be as involved in my school as possible. Dear parents or guardians, I made the decision to teach at Nathan Hale High School 4 years ago because it is located in the neighborhood where I grew up. Being your child's teacher is what I was born to do. It is not possible for a teacher to do all of the work required of them in the time frame that is stated in our contracts. Teachers in Oklahoma have not had a pay raise in 10 years. For 2 weeks, I will be participating in a protest called Work the Contract. The purpose of this protest is to ensure that your child and future generations of students in Oklahoma can have access to the best possible education.
Number one teacher right here in the world.
Thanks.
She's an awesome teacher, guys. Yeah.
And you're not in my class. Go to your math class. All right, are we ready to the bell ring? I'm the only U.S. history teacher for the entire junior class this year. We had to trim a history teacher. We need to get started with enrolling. You need to take another year of math. To qualify for Oklahoma's Promise, you need to take another full year. Paige, you get your stuff figured out? I know it sucks that we don't have a lot of choices for electives. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 absent. Oklahoma history. Last year I had about 150-ish students, whereas this year I started out the year with 208 students. Every year it's gotten just a little bit more, and so I don't know how much more I could handle. Sadly, it took me about 2 months to remember all of their names. I run around like a crazy person in the 45 minutes that I have my students so that I can try to have face-to-face time with all of them. I want to be able to help all of them. I can maybe grade one class of this in 45 minutes, but that's also if I'm able to concentrate for 45 minutes straight. This is usually what I do on Sunday. Okay, I don't have a 6th hour, so we get a break. Praise Jesus. She made me a rose out of streamers. She was like, I wanted to give you a rose, but I didn't want to do it in front of the camera. Thank you. When I went to high school, starting in like 2006, I had class sizes that were like 20 kids a class. There were tons of electives that you could choose. I didn't really hear anything about budget cuts or teachers struggling to get supplies. I mean, I'm sure that was going on, but not to the same extent that it is now. And that was less than 10 years ago. I haven't even had my 10-year high school reunion yet. The demands of the Oklahoma Education Association, the ultimatum that they're giving the state legislature now, would give teachers a $10,000 raise over a 3-year period. Whenever we shut the schools down, that's the only way that we know that they're actually listening to us, like that they have to do their job. A lot of times I take things home with me with like full intentions of actually like grading, but then I get home and I'm just like, ugh, I can't see straight. This is John, this is my fiance. He taught social studies, but then because we had to lose a history teacher, he was kind of, he had the least amount of experience. I only have 1 year of experience ahead of him. So instead he decided to teach English language development so that he could still have a job working at Hale. So if it wasn't for him working there, I would have been trimmed. But his passion is teaching history, and it's just sad, like as his fiance, like knowing that like that's what he's passionate about and he doesn't get to do it. Footage of me taking a large bite of a cheeseburger. It's gonna look real good on TV. My education was the most important thing in my life, like no matter what. Like my mom read to me every single night, my dad read to me every single night, and they always helped me with my homework. They were very on top of like making sure that I had good grades. That's one of the hardest things to teach, is to teach someone to value their education. Like that has to be something ingrained into them when they're young. We try to push them to go to vocational school and learn a trade and learn something that they're interested in.
Ultimately, to them though, a lot of times it comes down to how much money can they make. And so I always tell them that like you can make double what I make with my college degree, so.
I've written countless essays to like help kids get into Tulsa Technical School. If they're like, Ms. Durbin, help me do this so I can get into college and have an amazing future. It's like, yeah, I'll stay at school till 6 o'clock with you. Because that's like really the most important part of my job, is like being there as like a mom for some of these kids who don't have a mom that's there for them.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. You too. Oh my God, they deliver. Did you see that? I had no idea they deliver.
You know, it was called the Great Recession for a reason. State revenues really fell off the table. So we saw school funding decline in just about every state. Most states have gradually added back as the economy has improved, but some states have kind of remained stuck. Oklahoma is maybe Exhibit A. You know, they cut taxes deeply starting before the recession hit, and then they were continuing to do so after the recession hit, even when they had a big budget shortfall. Almost all funding for schools comes from states or localities. Oklahoma has cut that source, that major source of state funding, more deeply than any other state in the country by over a quarter. What's happening in Oklahoma is similar to what's happening in a number of states where teacher pay is very low, where school funding has been reduced significantly. So, you know, the school systems are having a hard time getting qualified teachers into the classroom. As the economy has recovered and some local governments have raised some revenue, they haven't been able to come close to making up for the state revenue cuts in some of these states like Oklahoma that we've been talking about.
And I hear a lot of people say that education system is flush with cash. Don't believe that. I see the best teachers, ones with master's degrees, doctorate degrees. They're going to Texas, they're going to Colorado, trying to get out of Oklahoma. One kid said to me, "Closed mouths don't get fed, Mr. Cherry." I said, "Y'all got some closed mouths right now." So if I were you, I'd strike. Out the mouth of babes, you know what I'm saying? It is 7:50. We are working to the contract. I just enjoyed my family last night. Helped my daughter with homework. My father-in-law came over. We just had a nice family evening. It could be like that every night, really. If I were to punch a clock for every time I spend time working for the district, I guarantee you it's in the 60s. And about 20 of those hours I don't get paid for. I've got friends that moved to Texas and they're just happy, you know? They can do what they love doing and they have money left over at the end of the month that they don't have to work 2 or 3 jobs to get. All this national pressure on state legislatures like in West Virginia, here, hopefully they'll do the right thing. If it doesn't get better, I'm out of here. How you doing, Mr. Waldron?
Here's to interesting times.
Oh yeah? Yeah, absolutely. Come on in. Morning. Morning. Is life good or what? Good to see you. How you doing? Good to see you. Come on in. All right, man.
All right, Mr. Cherry.
Be good yourself, all right? Let me know if you need anything. I think we are ready. I like the idea of economic empowerment. So they have to earn $1,700 to earn an A. Anyone have $1,700 yet? Each group is a company. We sit down, we negotiate a contract, how much they get paid weekly, what service that they provide.
He always gives us a chance to negotiate our pay. Because sometimes he might not, he'll give us a price and we might not think it's fair, so we always get to negotiate it to be on the same page. It makes coming to school more fun, actually. Everybody you got to come pay your taxes.
You just took all my money.
Better than just the teacher standing up there and preaching all day.
I remember when I first started 16 years ago, my dream was to teach at this school. I applied for this job 3 times. Yeah, I can't imagine teaching anywhere else. Can't imagine teaching anywhere else.
Oklahoma requires a 3/4 vote of both houses of the legislature in order to raise taxes. That threshold makes it possible for a small minority of lawmakers to hold hostage the rest of the state, even when most lawmakers recognize the need. And that just makes it difficult to pass the revenue that is needed to get qualified teachers in the classroom and have good schools.
How are you, Jeff? Nice to see you.
Thanks. I love you.
Excuse me. How are you all? Months and months we've worked on bills, and if they're going to even make it off the House floor, we've got today and tomorrow.
Been fairly productive. We've gotten a few good bills through, and so we're just plugging away.
And we have trouble with that bill, and I was just wondering what your concerns were, but
63 ayes, 28 nays.
Revenue raising measures take 75%.
you got to get 3/4 of the folks on the floor.
A super majority.
So you need 76 votes for something to pass. That's been the sticking point.
Since State Question 640 passed, not a revenue raising measure, not a tax increase has passed.
I don't want to vote on a budget that's on the backs of the folks that can least afford it. And for me, it's a moral issue.
I'm not in favor of massive taxes being increased on the citizenry to pay for anything.
I think anytime you start talking about walkouts and you start talking about protests, I think those are actions of the unheard. And we need to start hearing our teachers, not hurting them, and that's what's happening.
I hope we can come up with a solution that will be satisfactory to everybody involved, because I don't want to see teachers walk out. I don't want to see our kids suffer. My wife is a teacher. I have 3 children, all in elementary and secondary education, and I want education to thrive in Oklahoma.
Membership of the House, I declare the J.C. Art House bill to have passed.
Lyric, I need your group to present your W.E. Du Bois.
Teacher support. Today is the last day that they are going to be in class. We've told you that the walkout is starting on Monday.
Your discussion took it to another level, so I'm going to give you 100.
All right, so now let's look at number 2. Flip the page back over so that you're looking at number 2. Today is the last day in the unforeseeable future that I will get to see my kids.
Today is special because this is the deadline the OEA has given Oklahoma legislature to come up with a spending bill. But today might be our last day in the classroom for a while.
They're all like worried about it, and I can help answer their questions. When am I going to be able to grade their papers? Are we going to have state testing?
I teach quite a few seniors. They're worried if they're going to even come back after today. They're worried about meeting graduation requirements.
I know people whose grades are really low, like an F, and they would be able to bring it up to at least a D, which is passing in Oklahoma. They're not going to have that chance if the strike plays out for a long time.
This is my last semester that I'm going to do before I start applying to college. So I definitely would want to get some of my grades up more and have that time to do it.
I'm just hoping that the strike doesn't last longer than a week, at the most.
I don't know when I'm going to see them again. So it makes me sad because I love them and I'm going to miss them.
There's a lot of anxiety on both sides, but still they're supportive of the cause because they know it's not just about more money for me. They know it's about better education for Oklahoma.
She wants to ask you, why do you feel that you need a raise?
Why? So it's not so much about that. Like, yeah, it would be really nice to get a raise, but like we have a huge problem with like young teachers in particular, like teachers that are my age, because I'm like 25. Like a lot of them that I've worked with here, they leave. House Bill 1010 was put on the floor for a vote on Monday. That 50 million more for education, it should be 200 million, not 50 million. We get one shot at this. If we just give up now and accept the bill as it is, then we're gonna be back in the same situation that we are a couple years from now, and it might even be worse. Help me put all the chairs up. I will help too. Okay, this isn't going well for you so far. There we go. Ah!
Dr. Brown, I enjoyed that. I really did.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Let's put this grade in the grade book for you right now.
The bell's gonna ring soon. All right, bye. I love you guys. I'll see you hopefully sometime next week.
Bye. Hope I see you soon. Bye. Oklahoma is a microcosm for a broader national issue.
Teachers all across the country are not being paid what their actual value is.
We as a nation don't value education the way we should.
If you're a teacher, you should be paid and be able to live a comfortable life. It doesn't have to be in the millionaire, and if it is, God bless y'all, we'll take it. Because you know what, we have earned it.
I don't know if you've ever been around 30 teenagers at one time.
I dare any legislature to come and sit in the classroom for an hour. I guarantee you, it won't happen. They won't make it.
I really don't know what people think public services and schools run off of. You know, they don't run off rainbows and puppy dogs, they run off money, tax money.
Any idea how long this could last? That's really up to the legislature. If they fund the promise that
I'm almost ready.
For our children's future.
Can you kisses? Thank you. All right, let's go see if we can find Kelly. Titus. How you doing, man? Hopefully, you can sleep on the bus. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Appropriation in the past.
You all right? Tired? It's gonna be bananas. It's gonna be packed.
How do you feel?
I feel okay. I feel like walking for the future today.
Hi, my name is Emily Durbin, and I'm a teacher headed to the Capitol today. I am one of Representative Bush's constituents, one of Senator Rader's constituents, and I wanted to see if she was going to be in her office today. I'm going to have to call again. That's probably not going to work. Yeah, I'm sure you've had a lot of phone calls this morning. So trying to get inside the Capitol and talk to as many people as possible. I don't want to just stand outside and have a poster because there are specific things that I need these people to do. I want to talk to Dave Rader because he is supporting getting the capital gains bill, and that would create over $100 million in revenue.
This whole message has been taken and been conflated to just teachers need a pay raise when there's really way more to it than that. Increase funding to hire more teachers so that class sizes decrease, and bam, you just made a whole bunch of teachers happier.
Yeah, and John wouldn't have lost his job that way.
Here we are. We made it. The tiger is the thrill of the fight, walking up to the challenge of our rivals.
Don't step on her cake.
I know, right? How you doing? Good to see you.
I feel like we are going on an adventure. Amy.
This is more people than I ever remember being here for an education rally by far.
It's a matter of getting someone to pay attention to you and give you the time of day. I'd rather be in class right now talking about the Cold War.
I'm Emily Durbin. I called on my way up here.
This morning it was impossible to hear the calls coming in.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay.
Hopefully he's here.
He's meeting with a group at the moment, but if you would like to sign in and leave him a note, you can.
We're teachers from Tulsa, and we wanted to see if we could talk to Representative Hinkey.
Absolutely. We've got a line going on.
All right, thank you.
Is Senator Matthews in?
I think they're caucusing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so he's most likely in the Black Caucus meeting too.
I'm going to see what other senators we can talk to while we're up here.
I personally wasn't my desire to pass tax increases. The compensation increase for teachers and support personnel, I felt like that would be enough to satisfy the initial demand. I mean, it's more than anything else that's been proposed up here. I think it would be overly optimistic to expect another massive tax increase to come along. Nobody ever gets everything they ask for.
Let's put you in the middle.
Ah, perfect.
I saw your daddy out here, and I said, let me come holler at Mr. Chief.
Capital gains bill sitting on the floor right now.
Yeah, sitting on the outside right now. Ask the hard questions, all right?
Where's the money coming from?
And when they give you an answer, do you know how to count? Say, I don't think that's enough.
Done up is our guy. Let's go talk to him. Thank him for what he does for us, and then ask him what he's going to do to fund public education. Got it?
I'm always optimistic, just by nature.
By nature.
So
all right, that's good to know.
We'll see.
All right. Are you up for re-election in November?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal.
He's going to try to defend it whenever I talk to him, so. But I'm used to that.
David Rader, how are you? Hi. And you are?
Rose.
Rose, good to see you. Please sit down or find as many seats as you can.
Thank you. One thing that I wanted to ask you is what can we do to get the capital gains? Because I know that's something that you're supportive of. What can we do to get it heard on the floor?
Well, we don't want it to kill jobs, and we don't want it to, cause companies fold. But so far, at least as best I could read on the report, that hadn't happened.
Yeah.
So that's one way to approach it when you go talk to the people in the house.
I mean, I've been in your office before. I've told you that a lot of the people I graduated with at OSU, they went to go teach elsewhere, or they just like gave up on it and didn't want to teach anymore.
And let's say that this is going to move us up to number 30 or number 28 in the country. Now let's just say it's true that if you divide in the cost of living, it moves us into the top 15.
I am very grateful for a raise, but the thing that impacts me the most are my class sizes. Like when I have like 40 kids in a class, when I have like limited resources, those are the kinds of things that drive teachers out of our state.
Doesn't this help us retain them because we've increased the pay so you won't have to do that?
But it's aside from the pay, just the working conditions themselves, right?
And you have about 12 minutes till session.
Okay.
All right. But you got to remember now, I'm way down the total pole. Okay?
Yeah.
You
You're higher on the totem pole than we are. So.
Yes, we are.
You guys hear rumors a lot faster than I hear rumors. And how that happens is because I come in here and people say, well, are you going to vote on this? And I said, well, I didn't even know, Anyway. Thanks, Emma. Good to see you.
Thank you. You're a good man.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you. We appreciate
Hey,
you.
Wish you all the best.
I think it went well. I'm exhausted. The legislators saw our presence. They knew that we're serious. They know we'll be back tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So I think it went well.
This one's over there by himself.
Oh, he went for a scratch.
Okay, I have 20 minutes until food is ready, so. We don't have to wake up as early as I thought, though. Did I tell you that they're not going to be in session till like 3? The walkout will end if we pass at least one more bill that adds more revenue. But what I'm worried that's not going to change is just the working conditions that I have. I'm still basically having to operate at the bare minimum. There's something broken in this country when it comes to how we value education.
I mean, when you look at it across how many states are actually having almost the exact same problems, it's not just the system that there's a flaw in, there's also something wrong with the culture.
Here, let me garnish for you. Anytime I think for a second about quitting teaching and doing something else, I think about what it would be like not being in a classroom anymore, because that really is like where I'm the happiest. Do you just want one?
No, I want more. Honestly, I'm at the point where Texas really doesn't sound that bad. I mean, I am considering switching careers. I've looked into charter schools. Like Ashley was saying earlier, we have, family planning coming up, got kids on the way. I hope that you guys come back in like 5 years and everything has turned around and it's just an awesome place.
Yeah.
A shining example of public education.
But we know that's not.
Yeah, I know. It'd be nice though.
Yeah.